Some events this weekend had to change plans and move locations due to the downtown library saga. How would you like to become a multi-millionaire overnight? Yeah, sign me up for that. And you still have that chance. Well, Kim Hutcherson's telling us to just go on and get out of here. It's vacation time, I guess, Kevin. We wanted to let you know it is just a jam-packed day full of a lot of big news. So we wanted to let you guys know what's coming up in just about 20 minutes here on Local 33 News at 5 o'clock. We start tonight with a global dispute with possible impacts here at home. We begin tonight with breaking news. East Baton Rouge Councilman Buddy Amoroso died in a cycling crash this morning. It is a disgusting Labor Day weekend so far.
You guys go together like mac and cheese, I just gotta say.
And you are just so cheesy.
Hey!
And I'm gonna tell you the weather. So
happening right now. People across the state are casting their votes this election day. Representative Garrett Graves, how are you feeling out here tonight? The vibe is just electric. It is finally time to watch some more Tigers in action. So
getting them butterflies already.
It's that time of the year. I think we're all happy about it.
Let's go.
Stay with us. We'll be right back. Of course, it wouldn't be a Saturday without talking to you guys about some LSU football. The Tigers are on the road, and it's a Tiger versus Tiger showdown game going on right now. So we begin tonight with new information. A suspect now behind bars charged in connection to the shooting death of LSU basketball star Wade Sims. Time is running out for homeowners who need assistance recovering from the 2016 floods in South Louisiana. Guess it doesn't rain in Death Valley, but it rained just about everywhere else. While we are on this subject of our furry friends, today is of course National Dog Day.
Woot, woot.
Danielle's favorite day probably of
Favorite
the
day of the
entire year. We love our dogs. So we took to our talking point section on social media. I mean, they have been cooped up at that Capitol for so long now, as have you. A lot of wear and tear on everyone, but finally a
Working
deal.
weekends.
I hope they make it a two-day festival next year, and I hope that I'm able to go out to it. Yeah. We are about 5 minutes away from showtime, so I have you set up here on the desk with me so you can get an inside look at the newscast and how everything looks from my perspective versus what you guys see on TV. Good stuff there, Morgan, and of course reminding us what time of the year it is. I think we are all in anticipation of tomorrow.
It's feeling cooler outside. You wake up, you got college game day on your televisions.
It's
you know,
great.
If you're like me, you're watching your hometown Sooners play some football too.
Or
so
if you're me, we're watching the Mizzou Tigers,
that
hence the black and gold.
Right. Oh wow, color coordinating and everything.
Hey, we'll have purple tomorrow though.
Yeah, that's right.
And with you when you've been having some issues with heights, so you might want to just close your eyes for this last story
I
here.
myself for this one.
She's mentally prepared. Are you guys? We're about to see.
Exposure therapy for Danielle. Engage right now.
A vertigo-inducing glass bridge suspended over a valley in South China, and it challenges tourists to confront their fear of heights. So Danielle, maybe you need to try it out then.
I think we're writing this about Danielle.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Group trip to China.
Take a look at that. Wow.
Take a look at it.
Some people are managing it okay.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
Oh, you
that's
didn't know
Danielle. Ooh, making me hungry. Now, Danielle, if you missed it today, well, you're in luck. That festival continues tomorrow from 10 to 10, and as you can see, the rain was coming down, but not keeping people away.
Inside these pages lives a minute-by-minute recount of a horrific attack. Over a year after Congressman Steve Scalise was shot during practice for a charity congressional baseball game, he shares his message.
You know, it was really good for me to go and see what really did happen and how close I was to being on the brink of death and then fighting through it and just how I was able to make it through.
In his new book titled Back in the Game, One Gunman, Countless Heroes in the Fight for My Life, Scalise tells the story of his own survival as well as the background of all the heroes on the field who helped him see another day.
The greatest reward in writing this book is that, number one, it gave me an opportunity to go back and kind of retrace all the steps of the things that happened to me, but to tell it through the eyes of all the heroes, the people who saved my life and who did just extraordinary things.
Scalise parallels baseball to the game of life. No matter how many times you strike out or what adversity you face, you can't hit a home run unless you lace up your cleats once again.
You're not defined by what happens to you, it's how you come back, how you fight through the adversity that really defines who we are.
Scalise got back in the game, literally when he took the field once again a year after the attack, and figuratively when he made his return to Washington.
In one act of violence, it was really all of the good things that I got to see that got me through it.
As for what's next, there's still more innings left for him to play. For Local 33, I'm Amber Smith.
I wouldn't wish it on somebody that I just really didn't like. Every child deserves to feel happiness.
April Hill said she was just a toddler when she entered the hospital, injured by the hands of her mother.
I was told that she picked me up as far as her arms would reach in the air, and she dropped me on my face. And it just repeated that over and over and over until like eventually I was, forced to sit in a chair, and she tried to kill me in the chair.
She said she was taken away from one unsafe home and put into another. This one, her first foster care placement.
A lot of things that are not supposed to happen in custody, happened.
She said her caseworker, the person supposed to protect her from abuse, failed.
I can count on one hand and not use all of my fingers how many times my social worker came to that placement.
And she's not the only one with a similar story to tell.
One of the reasons my foster parents got away with the things that they did to us for so long is because I maybe saw my worker once every 6 months, maybe.
Leanna McCrae now works as a caseworker for the state of Louisiana, inspired by her own experience as a teenager going through the system in Washington state.
In those 5 years, I experienced 10 different placements.
It will be over 15.
But did make a few happy memories along the way.
I got to sit at a table and have real Christmas dinner with a family. It's one of my best memories as a kid. That's the first time I felt like I was a part of something.
It meant the world to me that she took that time to do that. It told me that I was worth something.
When 18 came, the question was, what now?
I made 18 and my foster mom basically just, bye.
She went on to college using stipend money from the state, but budget cuts meant no more stipend and no more school.
I was homeless a couple of times because I don't have, and still to this day, I don't really have anyone to fall back on.
Foster kids, particularly those who age out of the system, say they have to fight harder for a life they want, a life so many take for granted.
I realized if I'm going to be anything or do anything or have any kind of success in life, it's going to be because I do it.
Everything that I have, I got it on my own.
You just heard it right there. Two women who grew up in foster care. Obviously, as I was kind of saying leading into this story, they had very different experiences, but obviously pointed out some things that are very challenging for these kids going through the system.
Their strength is so inspiring.
Absolutely inspiring. And, this is something that them speaking out, they're, highlighting some things that they would like to see changed. And actually, I talked with DCFS as well, and some of those same things that they're pointing out as areas for improvement are things that the department is specifically highlighting that they would like to improve. So part 2 of this special, to see what the department is really doing to fix some of these things. We're going to have that tonight on Local 33 at 10.
What determination by these women, though.
Absolutely. So inspiring.
Fantastic story. Very well done.
Yes.
Thank you,
Amber.
Let's take a look at